ready. I'm raring to go. Really, I just don't sound like it.
Okay, the coffee is starting to kick in. 1-866-405-8405. This is Animal Radio as we celebrate our connections with our pet. Right now, Judy is screening calls. Dr. Debbie is taking your calls, your medical and vet questions, as well as your behavior questions. Vinnie Penn is with us. Animal communicator Joy Turner, Susan Sims, Bobby working on news. What are you doing in the newsroom, you Twitter gal?
If I were to ask you what is the most popular purebred dog in America, what would your answer be?
Ooh. You see, what if I got it right? What if I got it right? Then I just blew your whole tease there, right?
You'll never get it right, Hal. But I appreciate you thinking you would.
The Labrador is what I would think. Is that correct?
Well, sort of, kind of, and I'll just let you know what's coming up in the news. Thanks a lot. But really, AKC has released the results, and again, we're talking purebreds. You might be surprised with the movement on the charts. News coming up.
And we have Jeanette. Is it Jeanette? Hi, Jeanette.
Yes.
How's your toy poodle?
She's fine.
What's going on with her? What's her name?
Sophie.
How's Sophie today?
Yes. Well, I just got home, and she's been not caged, but put in the kitchen while I was gone for a couple of hours. But she's happy to see me.
Good.
But and she's a good little dog. She's very loving, very affectionate. She listens to commands and everything, and she's 2 years old. But we have a couple little problems with her. One of them, she rolls a ball around the house all the time. And when she gets it in a place where it's hard for her to get out, she gets very frustrated and starts pulling on the carpet and pulling up.
Did you say she rolls all over the house?
Rolls a ball around the house.
She rolls the ball.
Oh, rolls
the ball.
She
around the house with her nose.
Okay, all right. I was envisioning her rolling.
For an hour, she'll go for an hour with that thing all over the place.
Okay.
And that's her fun time, I guess. But when she gets it stuck in a place that we have to tell her to back it up, so if she has trouble backing it up, she'll grab a piece of the rug and pull on it. So
oh, dear.
I wonder if there's any way I can break her from that.
Well, this behavior is only occurring when she's playing her ball regimen?
Yes.
I guess the simplest thing that I'm going to say is that we need to control that ball playing activity, because especially if it's something she does almost to an obsessive level, there's a bit of anxiety. It's fun, but it can be a bit of an anxiety driving experience, so that she may not do her normal things. Her behaviors may be inappropriate at that time, and digging or tearing up the carpet is just a factor of her anxiety with wanting to get to that ball. So either we control the timing and the area that she has while she's playing ball, or we deal with some chewed up carpet and torn up carpet, because there's not going to be an easy way as long as we allow her to play her game on her time without direct supervision. Now, there's other ways we can make this game maybe a little bit more of an outlet for her. So if we can take the ball outside, throw it, have her, does she do retrieving activities, or is it just where she pushes it?
She pushes it, and I play soccer with her. We'll have this all back and forth.
Because if we can have a little bit more control over that playtime, where she can find the ball, retrieve it, or you can play back and forth with her, that is going to decrease some of her anxiety if it gets out of her reach, and then she's forced to start to do some of these behaviors that are a little bit more on the obsessive line. So that's probably going to be the easiest thing. The other thing that I would make sure we do is that we give her some other physical outlet besides the ball, because it really can become truly a problem fun toy. And I have a couple dogs that come here in my office, and if we pull out a ball, it's like they're in the zone, and nothing else in this world matters, and they're just totally focused on that.
Well, that's the way she is. If I pick up her ball to take it outside, she actually barks and whines. She wants me to put that ball back down.
I would say we need to also find some other outlets for physical activity for her. And she may not love it like she loves the ball, but what it will do is it'll help to expend some of that energy, especially that nervous energy that we're building up as we're playing ball. So we take her out, we go out running, we go out for walks, whatever it is that we can do for her that doesn't directly draw on that kind of the obsessive behavior with her ball. Do that in addition to her playtime with the ball, and see if we can kind of wear her down a little bit, and then just make sure you control the game. Thank you so much for your call. We appreciate you calling, and good luck with that. Hopefully she can still enjoy her ball game and leave the carpet at bay there. This is Dr. Debbie with Animal Radio. Give us a call. We're waiting at 1-866-405-8405.
This is
Animal Radio.
You're listening to Animal Radio.
1-866-405-8405 to talk to any one of the Dream Team. Dr. Debbie is answering your vet medical questions. Vinny is here with the Ha-Ha. Animal communicator Joy Turner. Susan Sims with Fido Friendly Travel Talk. Bobby on News. Britt. We're all here at your beck and call. And that would be Deb's beck and call right now. Hey, Deb, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you today?
New Jersey. I'm at home.
In Jersey. How can we help you?
I have 2 miniature schnauzers, and one of them is a white schnauzer, about 8 years old, and she licks her paws constantly. And she's got brown paws because of it.
Oh, yeah. And is it just her paws that she's licking at, or are there other areas?
No, just her paws.
Okay. And I'd imagine she probably has that nice, lovely kind of reddish-brown kind of stain to that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. And we see that so much in dogs. And typically, when we see paw licking, you will see that kind of staining of the fur, especially if it's a white-coated dog or light in color. And that's from a pigment in their saliva. And it's called porphyrin, and it causes a brown staining. So you wouldn't believe how many times I hear people say there's blood all over their feet, and it's actually that pigment that they're seeing. Yeah. So when that is happening, the first thing we go looking for, beyond broken toenails or any kind of injuries in between the toes, is we really look at things like allergies. And white schnauzers, I sympathize with you because they can have their share of skin problems. And looking at the paws is just part of that. As far as allergy-wise, could be allergies to things in the air, can be food. So there's a lot of different directions we might go with this baby. Do you have her on any kind of medications? Have you tried anything so far?
Yeah, so far we've changed her food a few times. Now she's on medicine, but that doesn't seem to be helping.
Okay.
She's also on 2 5-milligram pills of prednisone every other day. And I don't think it's working. But then when I stop, it seems like it was working.
Okay. Alrighty.
And that's about all we've tried so far.
Okay. Now, at any point, have we done any kind of sampling from her toe areas, from her feet? Has your veterinarian looked at that to see if there's any infections there?
Yes, the vet has looked several times. We've brought her in maybe 6 times over the 2 years we've had her.
Okay. Well, as far as if we're dealing with just a presumed diagnosis of allergies, then there's a lot of different ways we can go here. I personally always like to get some sampling from the area because if we have any kind of yeast infection or bacterial infection on top of things, even prednisone isn't going to be enough to tackle that. But some of the better allergy therapies we can try. If you're really interested in this, we can get into things like allergy testing and getting a pet on allergy shots to help prevent some of the signs of the itching, the licking, the chewing, all of that. There's also a wonderful medicine called cyclosporin that I use for a lot of dogs that have chronic problems, especially when prednisone doesn't do enough. So that might be an option that we can get at. All of those different directions, and then a good fatty acid supplement into the food. And then the venison diet that you're using, I'm assuming you're not using other treats or snacks or goodies along with that.
I wasn't for like the past year, and then we just bought some milk bones.
Okay. Because you know what that does then, right?
No, I don't.
If we're on a special diet, a diet that you're spending extra money on, and you give treats or you give snacks or table food or anything, you're just flushing all that money down the toilet because a hypoallergenic diet does no good if we still have other foodstuffs in the diet that can interfere with that. So if we really want to be sincere about giving it a good effort on that venison-based diet, you need to eliminate all those other things.
That's like going to like Burger King and ordering the biggest burger they had and then getting a Diet Coke. I mean, it just...
Hey, I do that. nothing wrong with that. But yes, if you're counting calories, that's the wrong thing to do. And it goes the same way with this food allergies and food trials. So if we really want to be very strict and give it the best oomph for the money, you need to really be faithful with that. And you can even try maybe looking into a different way of doing a food allergy trial, and you might try a hydrolyzed protein diet. There's one by Purina called HA. Royal Canin has one called HP. There's all these different ones out there, but that might be another avenue. If you think that you've given this a fair shot and it hasn't worked out, give that a whirl as well.
Okay, very good.
We wish you the best of luck, Deb.
Well, thank you very much for your help. I appreciate it.
Have a good day. 1-866-405-8405 to talk to anyone of the Dream Team. Could be animal communicator Joy Turner. She's our spiritual side. We need that spiritual side. And she does it so well, she can talk to your animals. Could be your childhood animal. It could be an animal that is living in your house right now that you're having trouble connecting with. Let's do that. What do you think, Joy?
I think it's wonderful, and sorry for the noise you were hearing. Our next caller should be blessed. Mostly, my 2 golden retrievers do lay here by my feet while I'm talking with you.
Uh-huh.
Today, that noise you heard, the racket, right before you started talking, was my boy Kitty, who came to participate in this particular call. So.
Oh, well, that's good. I like that. I like it when the whole family. We have.
Yeah.
Bobby, you have Slater over there, and we have Ladybug, the studio stunt dog, and we have Boog. All the animals are here, and they can make all the noise they want. Joy, I understand we have Stephanie on the phone. Hey, Stephanie.
Hi.
Where are you?
I'm in Seattle.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What can we do for you?
I have a question about my dog, Willie. Willie's about 12, and he's a golden lab retriever mix. And he's had the cough for the past, maybe 3 years. And it's getting progressively worse. And sometimes it keeps him up all night, and he has a really hard time. And I had it checked out with a vet, but he's too old to have a lot of tests done. So I'm wondering what I can do just to make him the most comfortable now as he's aging.
Oh, Willie gave me a big sigh as you were talking. And he says he understands that the cough is more to him annoying than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks that you do a really good job of taking care of him.
Yeah.
And he's thinking that maybe some natural things, some herbs or things like that, might be something that could soothe his body.
Okay.
And actually, if you're in Seattle, I can give you a recommendation of somebody to talk to about that.
About herbs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So, Hal, do you want me to do that on air or off air?
Let's go ahead and do that off air, but we'll post the information at the website, so if you're in a similar situation, you can head on over to animalradio.com and learn about what Joy's talking about there. Hold on for 1 second there, Stephanie. 1-866-405-8405 to talk to any one of the Dream Team. If you want to learn more about Joy Turner, head to her website at joyturner.com. And, of course, everything we talk about on the show today at animalradio.com. Coming up, still rescuing dogs and cats and animals from the wreckage in Haiti.
We are going to take a look at that outpouring of international humanitarian aid that is heading for Haiti. It now includes some help for the animals. That's coming up in the news.
Also on the show today, our friend Dr. Marty Becker from Good Morning America. He has the scoop on staph infection and how you can get it from your dog or cat, or how they can give it to you. Also today, Guinness World Book of Records joined us. Imagine a chihuahua, I think it was a chihuahua, that was 4 inches long. Yeah. Coming up today. Plus, we'll have giveaways of their brand new book, Guinness's 2010. 1-866-405-8405. That's toll free for you right now.
Hi, this is Jenna Fisher on Animal Radio. Please spay and neuter your animals.
When it comes to controlling cat box odor, there's no such thing as good enough. Buy the best or smell the rest. In other words, get World's Best Cat Litter with patented formulas made from whole kernel corn. World's Best Cat Litter is 100% natural and scientifically proven to deliver unsurpassed odor control, compact clumping, and longer-lasting use. See what a difference just one bag makes. And for a limited time, save big when you buy. To download a coupon, go to worldsbestcatlitter.com/radio.
Okay, time to check out the that website I heard about, www.safeguardfordogs.com. There it is.
Hi, I'm Dawn.
The virtual host is a nice touch.
Roxy.
It looks like these links and videos cover everything a dog owner might want to know about intestinal worm infections and how to prevent them. Here's a savings coupon for Safeguard Canine Dewormers and even an online reminder service. Better bookmark this one, www.safeguardfordogs.com.
When I went looking for a quality allergen-free dog food for Roscoe, a friend told me about canine caviar. Being a born skeptic, I examined every ingredient and most importantly, made sure it drove our dog's taste buds crazy. Here's the lowdown. Canine caviar is holistic, allergen-free, with raw dehydrated meats, herbs, fish oil, and flaxseed for health and joint support. Good food for Roscoe from a company I can trust. Ask your pet store for canine caviar. Learn more at caninecaviar.com.
It's another new year, and your debt is higher than ever. Credit card balances that keep growing. That's the bad news. But you can work through your debt problems with help from Credit Card Relief. No, we're not a consolidation loan, not another one of those credit counseling deals, and not bankruptcy. We've been helping people just like you for nearly a decade. Call Credit Card Relief right now. The consultation is free, and the relief is real.
Call 866-800-5252. That's Credit Card Relief. 866-800-5252. 866-800-5252.
You're listening to Animal Radio.
This Healthy Helping of Animal Radio is brought to you by Blue Buffalo, makers of healthy and holistic natural food for dogs and cats. You love them like family, so feed them like family with Blue. Updating that story from a few weeks back, I know you're working on that dog rescue, the firefighter. What is his name? St. George's?
Shepherd.
Yeah.
St. George's, yeah. Joe St. George's.
The Guardian has come out, right?
The person who actually... It's such a confusing story, yet very heartwarming. There is an explanation as to why it took the owner a little while to come on down and retrieve the dog. But once you hear it, you'll totally understand.
I can't wait to hear it because I thought it was kind of a long time. I was a little suspicious. But
well, normally now you have to remember that because Spiky, turns out is his name, did a little biting of the firefighter, he had to stay for 10-day quarantine regardless. But there's a reason that the owners took a little while to get down there and claim him. And it's just real heartwarming when you hear the reaction of when the dog recognized the person walking in the door.
Oh, good. That's all coming up in the news. Dr. Debbie answering your vet medical questions as well as your dog behavior questions. Animal communicator Joy Turner. Susan Sims with giveaways. Britt Savage. And you. Is this Lisa on line 3? Hi, Lisa. How are you doing?
Hi. Great. How are you?
Very good. Where are you?
Avon Park, Florida.
Ooh, that sounds beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's about 80 degrees. Sun's out. It's not a cloud in the sky.
Okay, so we've run into a city that's actually warmer than us today.
Yeah.
Lisa, you're on with Dr. Debbie.
Hi.
Well, hey there. How are you today?
Oh, just better than I deserve.
You're such a sunny spirit there. I can't believe. What are you calling about? I hope everything's well in your world.
Oh, pretty good. I got a really cute cat. I should have called you about the funny names. His name's Tripod.
Oh.
He's a 3-legged cat with no tail.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
How did that happen?
Tell us how that happened.
I kind of think it was a trauma, but I adopted him when he was about 9 weeks old from the Humane Society, and no one seems to know, so it's a mystery. So, but he's, we have a problem. Little Tripod is like he's wanting to void in the areas he's not supposed to instead of in his box.
What a polite term, by the way.
I'm a nurse. It's just a nursing thing.
Okay.
But he did really well for about 7 months, no troubles, did his little business where he was supposed to. And we have a Labrador Retriever with 7 puppies, and we brought him in when she whelped the puppies, and we moved his box because she was in the utility room where he was, where his box is, and we moved the box out, moved everything out, closed the door, kept him away, so it didn't freak him out. And then my husband came home from a deployment. He was gone for 6 months. Just, things that rock a cat's world. I know they like their little routine, but now he's taken to voiding on the bed, laundry. Those are his spots now, but he's doing his little BMs in his box.
Okay. And where's the box right now where you're keeping that?
It's back in the laundry room. The dog's out in her kennel now.
Okay. So the dog and the puppies are moved away now?
Yeah, everything's out. It's back to the way it was before.
Okay. And this behavior started when the puppies were in the home?
Yeah, that's when that started. It's like after, I couldn't pinpoint it exactly, like when I brought the dog in, my husband came home. It was this just seemed to be, hopefully that's just what triggered it, and hopefully I can get him back to.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you the first thing that I always like to bring up, and your situation kind of screams of a behavioral type trigger for this behavior, but I would still say I would want to check a urine sample just to make sure we don't have some low-grade urinary issue going on. Because if we don't address that, we're never going to get anywhere with the behavior. Or it's going to make things much harder. So one of the first things that I would do is I would like to give an alternate litter box location. You can keep that one where you got it, but we really need to provide another location somewhere for a couple reasons. One is if this is the area that the dogs had inhabited before, we might have some kind of aversion to the location now. So we want to give a new area and maybe a quiet spot where she can kind of just, get away and be away from everyone in addition to this other site. Because we always want to have one extra litter pan than you have cat in the home. So that would be definitely a big thing. I would like to see maybe using some kitty pheromones, the scent hormones. Something we can't smell, but cats sure can, and it can help in some of these anxiety-related behaviors. And you can get those in a plug-in method or a spray-type administrator, and you spray your house with it.
I just ordered some.
Fabulous. Yeah, I love them for something like this. And, I will consider anxiety medicine if it's needed, but before we get there, I would try the pheromones, the extra litter box locations, and I would give you a prescription for doing about a 10 to 15 minute play session with your kitty every day, just so we make sure that we reaffirm that, you're still a very important member in this household, and even though all this other ruckus was going on, you're still very much a part of our family, and we want to make sure that you're stimulated mentally and physically. So I think that will really give you some help there, but make sure we don't skip out on the possibility of the urine check there.
Right. We'll take care of that. Yeah, he's a nervous Nelly anyway. He's just his personality.
Is he? I love his name. I've seen a couple tripods here. Definitely. They're adorable. I think there's something kind of unique about having a pet that's missing a body part.
Yeah, like I said, he's missing too, his tail and his foot.
Lots of personality. Well, thank you so much for your call there, Lisa. This is Dr. Debbie with Animal Radio at 1-866-405-8405.
Hey, Animal Radio. It's Vinnie Penn, your party animal, coming at you yet again. If you were paying attention to the last episode's party animal installment, we're getting a little art house here, got a subtitle going. We're doing the Cruiser Chronicles. Cruiser is my mini schnauzer of my youth that I had. He ran the show. He ran the Penn household for over 10 years. I was telling a story in the last installment about Cruiser eating about 30 pounds worth of chocolate, probably, and surviving. And now I've got an even better Cruiser story for you all, although it does start on a somber note. I'll just let you know, recently my older sister called me, an old friend of my mother's, had passed away, hadn't seen her in ages, and she said, we should pay our respects. We should go to the wake. And we went to the wake, of course, to pay respects. Really, I hadn't seen her in ages, since the 90s. When we were leaving, my sister said to me, gee, when was the last time you saw her? I've been seeing her around lately. You probably haven't seen her in a million years. I said, Lori, I haven't. And I started thinking about the last time I saw her. It was actually, and we were in hysterics, which you never feel good about being in hysterics on the way home from a wake. I mean, there's at least a sliver of guilt. But nonetheless, I said, gee, I remember what it was. She had come to the house. She was visiting Mom. And while she was visiting Mom, Cruiser took a dump in her pocketbook. Not even kidding you. The sick part is she didn't even realize We always said that Cruiser acted like his crap didn't stink. You know the old saying? You act like your crap doesn't stink. Well, Cruiser's evidently did. He acted that way, and it was because it didn't, because she made it all the way out to her car, God rest her soul, without knowing there were 2 dog turds in her pocketbook. I don't know if Cruiser was sending a message, if there was something in the pocketbook that had made him feel as if this was the perfect spot. Maybe he just felt like she'd take it outside for him. Who knows? Only Cruiser knows. But inadvertently, this gives me an idea. The doggy poop pocketbook. I make a lot of money on that. All I need is a distributor. Vinny Penn, Animal Radio.
Bobby, did Sandra Bullock ever find her dog?
You know, I was just checking on that because she was using the same internet search agency that Jessica Simpson used when her dog was taken. No, that's what it's findtoto.com.
Findtoto.com.
They were looking for Cinnabon, their 9-month-old puppy that vanished back on the 25th of January.
Do they suspect foul play?
I don't know. In Jessica Simpson's circumstances, the coyote one, and that's just food chain related. You can't do anything about that. But they are offering a $2,000 reward. That's Sandra Bullock and her husband Jesse James. So if you see their little puppy, please contact findtoto.com.
I'm looking for a picture of it, and if we find it, we'll post it up there at the website at animalradio.com.
I saw a picture of her. She's very cute, and she looks like a little pit bull. Just really adorable. Staffordshire Terrier, more appropriate.
I see as they clean up there in Haiti that we're going to be having a guest from IDA on. Is that correct, Judy? What's going on?
Yes, he's going to talk to us about what they're doing with their relief efforts for not only pets, but farm animals as well.
Oh, good.
Did you know there's over 500,000 dogs in Port-au-Prince alone?
Yeah, you know what? The animals weren't in good condition to begin with. So the earthquake, a lot of them were not spayed or neutered or vaccinated or taken care of.
Right, only about 100,000 of them even have rabies shots.
Yeah, quite a different situation, and we'll get up to date in just a few minutes. Is he on the phone? Oh, cool.
He's waiting.
Hey, Joey.
Hello, Hal. How are you?
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Villani, who's going to be joining the Animal Radio Zoo crew within the next couple of weeks here. And I wanted to make sure everything's on time. We're still set to have you start and see if you're excited about it.
Oh, I can't wait. I figure maybe I could bring a little bit more style to the zoo team.
We need style. Yeah, we need it.
All right, now we're leaning really Italian here. Of course, Bobby here, who does news. Say hi, Bobby.
Hey, Joey, how are you?
Hello, Bobby. How are you?
I'm doing
well. I don't think there's any more of an Italian than me, though. That's one thing I have to say.
I don't know.
See, it's the first name, Joey.
We welcome you on board. Now, what kind of things will you be discussing? What kind of questions will you be answering? What do you consider your expertise?
Well, my expertise is definitely in style and grooming, but I've been in the pet industry for I'm going to say approximately, I think it's about 36 years. So I've touched on basically everything.
And of course, you were the judge on Groomer Has It, which I understand was going to come back and then wasn't going to come back on Animal Planet. I understand that it just cost too much money to produce. Or who was the host on that? I forget.
Jay Rodriguez. Yeah. Jay Rodriguez was. You know what? It was a costly show for them. It actually did pretty good in the ratings. But I still do a Dogs 101 with them, and we're working on a few other things as well.
Very excited to have you join our team. We look forward to speaking with you live in the studios. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we welcome Joey Villani to our airwaves. We'll talk to you later, okay?
I look forward. Thank you very much, guys.
Take care of yourself.
See you, Joey.
There you go. Joey Villani joining the Animal Radio Zoo. What do you think about that?
He got drafted just like the rest of us.
This is
Animal Radio. This is
Animal Radio. We're doing news, Hal. Jeez, come on. Wake up.
Yeah. Get with the program over here.
Seriously, Judy, you're closest. Go smack him on the back of the head and reboot that thing.
This is an Animal Radio News Update, brought to you by World's Best Cat Litter, the only litter made from whole kernel corn.
I'm Bobby Hill for Animal Radio. The outpouring of international humanitarian aid continues to arrive in earthquake-ravaged Haiti, but now comes word that the animals are getting much-needed relief, too. Led by the International Fund for Animal Welfare out of Yarmouthport, Massachusetts, aid workers are setting up mobile clinics to assist the pets, including the more than 500,000 dogs in Port-au-Prince alone. The organization will also work to keep the island nation's 5 million head of livestock healthy at this crucial time. And updating a story we brought you last week, the rescued German Shepherd plucked from the storm-swollen L.A. River in a spectacular aerial effort has been reunited with his owner. Spiky is his real name. He's the name of the pooch who captured media attention across the country, but not so much on the Spanish language stations. And that's why it took some time before 70-year-old Maria Medina knew where her missing dog was. Medina speaks only Spanish, and the language barrier contributed to the delayed reunion. Medina said Spiky's brother, a yellow lab named Polo, had been picked up by animal control the same day. Medina thinks her grandchildren left the gate open, allowing the dogs to escape, the little scoundrels. When a family friend went to the Southeast Area Animal Control Authority to get Spiky, staff said the dog, quote, went nuts when he saw him, like he found a long-lost friend, end quote.
Okay, how long was it between the time they were reunited and they found the dog? How long was it?
It was a close to 10 days. 10 days.
And you're telling me no Spanish stations reported this? I mean, this was all over the TV and everything. I mean, do you really buy that?
Well, according to the lady who only speaks Spanish, I have to, Hal.
Okay.
Maybe they reported it, but she just wasn't watching it at the time.
Yeah, okay.
She had the TV
Exactly.
on.
Remember, it was monsooning. People were doing other things. And again, the Spanish language stations did not pick it up as the English language stations did, and we're just massively all over it because we're that way.
Okay.
The American Kennel Club released results for what they call the most popular purebred in the country, and for the 19th consecutive year, the Labrador Retriever sits in the top spot. The rankings are based upon yearly registration with the AKC by breeders, and those stats show the German Shepherd overtaking the Yorkie this time for the number 2 spot. Shepherds became the top breed in the early 1900s, but lost popularity after the Second World War. The 2009 rankings showed the rest of the top 10. At number 4 was the Golden Retriever. The Beagle was 5. Number 6 was the Boxer, followed by the Bulldog at number 7. Dachshund placed 8th, beating out number 9 Poodle, and the Shih Tzu rounded out the top 10. I'm Bobby Hill for Animal Radio. Get more breaking animal news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update brought to you by World's Best Cat Litter. Here's a tip for choosing a litter. Try a litter that resembles what cats naturally use. Soft, fine-grained litters most closely resemble the sand and dirt preferred by cats in the wild. Secondly, remember that cats have a keen sense of smell, so choose a litter that doesn't include perfumes. Get more tips from Dr. McPete at www.worldsbestcatlitter.com/radio.
This portion of Animal Radio brought to you by
Herm Springer's Quick Release Dog Training Collar. Very humane, very gentle. Find a store near you at animalradio.com.
This is
Animal Radio, baby.
It's Animal Radio. 1-866-405-8405 to talk to any one of the Dream Team. Dr. Debbie. Oh, looks like she's already broken her New Year's resolution, so I'm not even going to say what it was. Vinnie Penn, animal communicator Joy Turner, Susan Sims, Bobby working on news, Britt Savage. We're all here for you at your beck and call. And joining us, our good friend, Dr. Marty Becker. Are you calling from home there in Idaho?
Oh, it's cold. Oh, yes, I'm calling from Almost Heaven Ranch in North Idaho. It was a low of -2 last night.
Oh, well, anytime you want to come on down to Central California and warm up, you always have a couch to sleep on here.
You don't have to worry about frozen pipes down there, do you?
No, that's not a problem.
What's that?
Yeah. Is that something you're dealing with right now?
Yeah, there's nothing like... Actually, my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law both have toilets that don't work, and my other neighbor has a pipeline that's frozen, and when it stays freezing like this for a long time, not good.
Yeah. Hey, listen, right now, unfortunately, the cold brings a lot of sickness, and I understand that actually about 12% of our country right now is sick. Well, I don't know if this is accurate. I saw it on Fox. That's all I can say. And it may be true. It may not be true, but that's a lot of people right now, and the way to keep clean, use all your Purell and keep your hands clean, and don't be breathing into your pet, because your pets, especially if you have that H1N1, they can get this virus, as we've seen. There's also that staph infection. What is a staph infection exactly, doctor?
Well, this is one that's scary. I've had two family members. My son, who's 19, got it. My brother-in-law got a staph. And the one that's scary, staph in itself is not good, but methicillin-resistant Staph aureus. What that basically means, there's not very many antibiotics that kill that staph. And you'll see it in pets and people. It's often a real red, angry kind of sore. It's like a red pimple. It really hurts. It's filled full of pus. There's a ring around it, and it doesn't heal. And the bad thing is it tends to colonize the nasal cavities or the mouths of both pets and people. But the surprising thing you're seeing now, they first noticed this in service animals that are going into hospital settings, and we're transferring MRSA back and forth.
Yeah.
But what we're finding out now is pets and people will ping-pong it back and forth. The person will have it give it to the pet. The pet will keep it in there like a little furry Swiffer and give it back to people. And so there's some new changes now.
Okay.
For years, my mantra, you've always heard me say, whatever I've communicated, get rid of the risk, keep the pet. Don't be too alarmed. You don't hear of veterinarians dropping dead right and left.
No.
And there's nobody that comes in contact with more zoonotic diseases than veterinarians, but there's some emerging risks we need to be really careful about. So here's what I want you to do.
Okay.
I want you to wash your hands before you play with your pet and after.
Okay.
Now, always before we just said, wash your hands before you eat, wash your hands after you play with your pet. You should wash your hands before you play with your pet so you don't transfer staph to your pet.
Yeah, okay.
Good idea.
And then when you bathe your pet, ask your veterinarian about some of these new antimicrobial shampoos. There's several kinds out there that are really good, but that'll actually, when you're bathing, it actually kills the staph that resides on the pet. And if your pet has a little red, angry, open sore that's not healing, you need to take it in because that's probably staph. You'll often see it down in the groin area. It's a bad one, and it's getting worse. You're hearing a lot about it in different healthcare facilities. Here's one thing that's interesting. They found out they were looking at households that had MRSA. They went in and tested them at random and tried to figure out why they had it. Were the kids in daycare? Did they work out at a gymnasium, a spa or something, or not a spa, but a health club? Were they involved with health care? What they found out is cats. If you have cats, you're 8 times more likely to have staph. And what that means is you got to use a product on them. You're giving it to the cats more than the cats are giving it to you. I want to emphasize that. But there's some new products out that you can just spray and leave on your cat. Now, a bigger risk, though, remember some of the things. We know rabies. Rabies is that lethal disease that's transmissible to animals to people, and that's why we vaccinate pets for it. One of the things you don't know about, when you get that distemper parvo, leptospirosis, parainfluenza combination vaccine.
Oh, yeah, I'm still paying for that.
Leptospirosis is one that's transmissible to people. It's spread in the urine. So when you're getting your pet vaccinated for lepto, you're actually protecting the human family from lepto.
Good.
And then probably the biggest thing you can do is two things. One is use that pooper scooper. You remember back when the hot zone came out, when Ebola virus was in Africa, and there was in movies and all this stuff about this deadly Ebola virus. Well, you want to see the hot zone. Just go in your backyard in the lawn, and all the internal parasites that are there, or worse yet, is a communal dog park or a rest area by off the interstate. You got to be really careful out there, and if you pick the feces up at least every other day, the feces never get to the infective stage. So you'll keep your whole lawn and that area cleaner. And you need to use monthly parasite control. The Companion Animal Parasite Council, which is a consortium of CDC, the American Academy of Family Practitioners, and various veterinary groups, they recommend lifetime parasite control for all pets, regardless of geographic location.
Because the parasites will give the staph infection to another animal?
Well, what we're talking about here is fleas and ticks and internal parasites. So, those things, those products you're using like, Comfortus or Frontline Plus or Vanix or any of those things, what you're doing, you're not only protecting the pet from heartworm, ehrlichiosis, Lyme disease, flea allergy, dermatitis, but you're also protecting the human family. Because, you guys, we all let our pets, they have intimate contact with us now, and these things are microscopic. You can't see it. So by just doing monthly parasite control, you're protecting the entire family.
Okay. I think I got to go clean the yard now. I was looking at it this morning. There's a lot of poop out there.
Well, I actually talked to veterinary parasitologists about this. I want to emphasize, as long as you pick the yard up at least every other day, they'll never reach the infective stage, ever. And that's not a good thing to throw in the throw in the environment, by the way. There's some little things that fit on septic cleanouts and stuff now. They're a little better way to dispose of that stuff because, that's a growing problem, too.
Okay, we're going to post all this information over at animalradio.com. Thank you for keeping the most important thing forefront for us. Dr. Becker, Marty Becker joining us today, and we'll see you on Good Morning America very soon.
Thank you, my friend.
You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too.
A dog owner in Scotland wasn't sure what to make of his dog's rattling stomach. When Chris Morrison took his dog Oscar to the vet, he had no idea what was wrong with his 5-year-old lab. The vet suspected Oscar might have eaten something other than dog food, but when he went into his stomach, he was stunned. Vet Bob Hesketh found 13 golf balls. One of them was black from having been inside Oscar for so long. Oscar's owner explained that he and Oscar loved to take long walks on the golf course at night and in the early morning. He knew Oscar liked golf balls and enjoyed bringing them home. He had no idea he was swallowing them. Oscar's now on a diet of watered-down food until his stomach heals, and although he can still go for walks on the golf course, he wears a muzzle as part of his no golf ball diet. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio.
Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
Hi, this is Emmylou Harris on Animal Radio. Please spay and neuter your pet.
When I went looking for a quality allergen-free dog food for Roscoe, a friend told me about canine caviar. Being a born skeptic, I examined every ingredient and most importantly, made sure it drove our dog's taste buds crazy. Here's the lowdown. Canine caviar is holistic, allergen-free, with raw dehydrated meats, herbs, fish oil, and flaxseed for health and joint support. Good food for Roscoe from a company I can trust. Ask your pet store for canine caviar. Learn more at caninecaviar.com.
Fido Friendly is the travel and lifestyle magazine for you and your dog. Each bi-monthly issue includes hotel and destination reviews, health and wellness topics, dog training advice, and the latest fashion trends. You can find Fido Friendly magazine at Borders, Barnes & Noble, PetSmart, and Petco, or simply go online to FidoFriendly.com and subscribe today. Fido Friendly is the only magazine dedicated to the travel and lifestyle of man's best friend, and the only magazine your dog will thank you for.
Why read a newspaper in the age of the internet? Because you take the time to think things through, like your love of animals. You want to know where your voice and donations can be most effective. Animal People is the newspaper for people who care enough about animals to give real thought to how best to help animals. Request your free sample copy at www.animalpeoplenews.org.
When it comes to controlling cat box odor, there's no such thing as good enough. Buy the best or smell the rest. In other words, get World's Best Cat Litter with patented formulas made from whole kernel corn. World's Best Cat Litter is 100% natural and scientifically proven to deliver unsurpassed odor control, compact clumping, and longer-lasting use. See what a difference just one bag makes. And for a limited time, save big when you buy. To download a coupon, go to worldsbestcatlitter.com/radio.
This is
Animal Radio, baby.
Seems like we're getting a lot of calls these last few days about the food that we're talking about a lot. Stella and Chewy's. And, of course, this is the food.
I just like saying
it. Is
Stella
the name
and
makes you feel
Chewy's.
so good, doesn't it? And, of course, I actually gave you some for Slater. And Slater likes it. Slater's a cat, of course.
And let me just tell you how picky he is. I mean, seriously picky, this cat. Again, not my cat, lives next door, thinks he lives here. But he loved the Stella and Chewy's.
You know why he thinks he lives there is because you're giving him Stella and Chewy's, and whatever he has at home is probably... Yeah. The cool thing about Stella and Chewy's, it has the healthy ingredients we want. It's a raw diet, and it's freeze-dried, so it doesn't have to be preserved like most raw diets have to be. And it's real easy. It's like a little patty. You put it out, put a little water in there, and within a minute, it hydrates itself, and the animals just love it. And they continue to love it. Days after they first started it.
For Ladybug.
Yeah, she'll start a food.
For a couple days, and then that's it.
She still loves it.
Well, and you can switch it up because you can serve it to them dry, too, right? You don't have to add the liquid.
You can break it up into little treats.
Right.
And it is the official food of Animal Radio. So when you're calling and asking, what is that food we're talking about? It's Stella and Chewy's. And you can visit their website at stellaandchewy's.com. Or if you're not into that internet thingy, because like me, I didn't think it would take off
at all.
Yeah. 888-477-8977 is their phone number. 888-477-8977. And, of course, you can purchase it right from the front of animalradio.com.
That's right. It's Hal. He's the one who spells technology with a K.
Remember that dog in last week's news that got rescued from the L.A. River?
Yeah.
Turns out he has a name, Spiky. And the firefighter, what is St. George's? What was his name?
Joe St. George's.
Apparently now Ellen has announced that he's a single man, and he's
Ellen had the whole crew on her show about a week after the rescue. And obviously Joe is sitting there with his thumb still bandaged from the bite. And Ellen just asked him, "Are you married? How'd your wife feel about this?" And he said, "Oh, I'm single." And pretty much right then and there, she put him on the auction block.
Okay. Now, I also understand that it took almost 10 days for the guardian of Spiky to come forth and say, "Hey, that's my dog."
The 70-year-old grandma who speaks only Spanish, Hal, is that who you're referring to?
And apparently it wasn't reported on television, Spanish-speaking television.
Spanish stations didn't pick up the story with the fervor that the English-speaking media did, and that's right here in the U.S. So,
in Los Angeles, though. I mean,
I know.
where the top TV, the top radio stations are Spanish stations.
I mean, get that.
Really?
I'm confused as you guys are, but again, language barrier, and the dog was reclaimed by the owners. The family friend showed up at the shelter, and the staff said that the dog went absolutely nuts when he saw him.
Okay. Well,
so he totally recognized him. The animal control went out, inspected the whole property. Everything's good. Everything's fine.
Okay.
We're blaming the grandkids for leaving the gate open.
Okay. Well, it's another good reason to have a microchip in your animal.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. And he did. Spiky had a collar on, but he had no tag on that collar. So that's being addressed and corrected.
Well, we're so glad that he's happy and reunited with Grandma and everybody. I understand it was a heartwarming reunion.
The staff at the shelter said when this German Shepherd saw this family friend show up, he just went nuts, and you could tell that the dog knew the person. There was no question.
This is
Animal Radio.
This is
Animal Radio.
Thanks for the list, Judy.
You're welcome. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody.
It's Animal Radio, 1-866-405-8405. And I think, I have the names right. I believe we have Jeremy on line 4. Hi, Jeremy. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Where are you?
I am in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh, nice place. Well, you're on with Dr. Debbie.
Hello.
Yeah, great. Hi, how are you doing?
I am doing wonderful today. What do you got going on with you?
Well, my dog Nitro, I found him as a stray at the drag strip. That's how I got his name. But he is a border collie mix. And what my issue is with him, he's a spinner. And we don't know if it's because he needs something to do at the house, as far as the job goes, or if he's just got some kind of neurotic issues that we need to take care of.
So when you say spinning, we're not talking he's not going to a biking class. He's actually going in circles then.
I thought it was on one of the Motown spinners.
Yeah,
but okay,
that's it. No, actually, he can do it on command. If I say the word go, it's, he starts spinning. Sometimes it's a funny trick, but, I don't know.
Wow.
We're trying to get him to stop, but yet, we find it amusing too, so we don't. But on the other hand, the hairdryer, the lawnmower, the weed blower, the snap of my laptop closing sends him into circles. And it's not like he's chasing his tail. And I don't know if it's some kind of mental issue he's got because he's, should have a working dog. Or if it's just something else I need to look into.
Yeah. And, we do see a lot of different of the collie breeds that can have some of these almost obsessive spinning behaviors. And it's something that, yes, they will do very commonly as part of an anxiety kind of component. Now, there can be some weird medical things that can cause that. So there's a remote possibility we could be dealing with something like a hydrocephalus or lead poisoning or some other type of brain disease that could cause that. But especially if it's a situational trigger that are things that are, either upsetting to him or that make him react, then I would say very likely we would want to address the behavioral part of it. And you kind of hit upon one big thing is that, with these guys that have some of these anxiety problems, I like to get them a job, get them something to do, physical activity.
Another thing we do, we've got a actual public dog park here in Chattanooga, and we'll take him down there, and if there's like a whole lot of dogs, about 10 or 15, he runs the whole perimeter of the dog park until he gets them all within maybe 5 or 6 foot radius circle, and he just keeps running around, making sure nobody gets out of the back.
So he's hurting them.
That's exactly. So we know his job there, and also we've got him on puppy Prozac.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
And was that intended for this purpose, for the circling?
I do think so.
Okay. Okay, so you've already kind of worked with your veterinarian on this, and they've prescribed that then?
Yes, sometimes it calms him down, and, sometimes he's just gotta go, hyper pursuit mode. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'd say it's really important when we're using a behavioral medicine for some of these anxiety-driven problems that we also work on the behaviors. So if you're kind of encouraging these behaviors, giving him positive reinforcement in any way of, talking to him, laughing with him when he's doing it, that is actually counterproductive to that drug therapy. So it's really important that we stop that and that we focus on practicing calm behaviors. So kind of the basis always falls back to behavior training, and that would be practicing sit, stay downs and having him hold those positions for gradually longer periods of time, because that's kind of practices the calm behavior, and it also gives him some duration. So he kind of focuses on something, and it's kind of like a kid with ADD. We've got to kind of keep his attention at you and what you're asking him to do, and not how he wants to react to some of these other things. And then when he's faced with that loud noise, the laptop closing, whatever it might be, then we can practice those sit down behaviors and try to direct his attention to that and not to his coping mechanism, which is the spinning kind of thing. So I would definitely work on that. And the Prozac, if you're using that, are you using that consistently?
Yes, we give it to him in the afternoon when we give him his afternoon meal. And that way it keeps him calm through the night. And then he stays, we put both our dogs in a crate while we're going to work during the day.
Okay.
So we've got him crate trained. I can tell him go get in his box, and he knows exactly where to go. And we've also got another dog. She's a Border Collie Australian Shepherd mix, and she's well behaved. We got her the Canine Good Citizen training as a pup, and done some obedience training with her, so she's not a problem. Mm-hmm. And Nitro, the Border Collie or the Sheltie mix, he's a good dog too, minus the fact with his spinning obsession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I keep up with the behavioral meds because I think that can really help. And some pets I'll also add in something else if they're faced with really bad situations, like if you know that there's going to be a lot of people around, things that might get him going. I'll touch him up with something like alprazolam, which is kind of in the Valium family. And we can use those for individual situations on top of the Prozac if necessary. Goal is to try to help him, not make him a drugged out dog. I think you've got a lot of the right ideas. Just make sure the whole household is on game with that. And a lot of these spinners, as we call them, we may not be able to cure them of that. We may still have some of that residual spinning. So there's a certain level that you kind of live with, and we just try to decrease their anxiety, help them become more focused, a more relaxed pet, and better family member there. So Hope that's of some help for you there. This is Dr. Debbie with Animal Radio, 1-866-405-8405.
What do you got going on in the newsroom?
We are going to take a look at that outpouring of international humanitarian aid that is heading for Haiti. It now includes some help for the animals. That's coming up in the news.
1-866-405-8405.
Oh, and did you see the poor firefighter who did the rescue of the dog on the Ellen show? And she totally outed him. The poor guy's single. He's probably never going to be able to open all the emails he's going to get now.
What do you mean she outed him?
Well, she, outed him. She asked him, "Are you married?" He's like, "No, I'm single." So she pretty much shopped him right there. Ellen is my favorite pimp. And I mean that in the nicest possible way.
Always adopt, don't declaw.
This is Animal Radio
Network.
Celebrating our connection with our pets. From all across the globe, this is Animal Radio. And here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
I feel like I just woke up. I don't know what it is. I don't know about you. You look the same way today, like you didn't want to wake up today. You too, Bobby.
It was a late night.
I'm going to blame whatever that over-the-counter sleep aid is that I took that said there'd be no adverse effects the morning after. They lie. I hope I didn't do any sleepwalking.
Not.
I'll just check YouTube for videos. I'll find out.
We're all here. We're here to answer your questions. Dr. Debbie answering your vet, medical, and behavior questions. Vinnie Penn is here. Animal communicator Joy Turner. Susan Sims. Bobby working on news. And I understand today we're going to be talking to the guy from Hotel Penn again. We do this every year.
Every year, yes.
This is one of the official hotels of the Westminster show that starts, Monday night? It's Monday night, I believe.
Yes, Monday and Tuesday.
He always says he's the official hotel, but I've seen some other hotels say they're the official hotel.
Say the same thing.
No. This is it, Hotel Penn.
Confusing.
We're the official radio show of animal lovers.
And we can prove it.
Yeah. Coming up today, we're also going to be talking about Haiti. We have from In Defense for Animals. Is it In Defense for Animals?
Right, IDA.
They apparently still rescuing dogs and cats and animals from the wreckage, the mayhem that continues to unfold in Haiti. I see you're working on a cuddly chicken story or a chicken cuddling story. I don't really get it.
You know, here at Animal Radio, we do not judge. Okay, unless we've been asked to appear on American Idol. But
Yes.
Normally we don't. And we consider all animals to be pets if that's what you think they
Sure,
are.
yes.
And apparently there is a gentleman in New York who has a chicken, and he was having fun with it on the subway. And once again, video goes viral. We'll tell you as much as we know coming up in the news.
1-866-405-8405 to talk to anyone in the Dream Team. Jerry Grymack joins us yearly from Hotel Penn. He's one of the hotels that hosts some of the dogs there. So we always like to find out what kind of things they offer to the dogs. What kind of swanky things. And, of course, these are the kinds of things that Ladybug would probably really enjoy. Stay there
yes, she would.
Hotel Penn.
Yeah, maybe next year we'll go.
Hey, Jerry, how are you doing?
Hey, Hal, Judy, great to hear from you.
Hey.
How are you both doing?
Good.
Very good. This is Bobby over here. Say hi to Bobby.
Oh, my God. Bobby. Hey, Bobby, hi there.
Yeah, we're all here.
How you
for it.
doing?
Very good, very good. It's great to hear from you again. We chat every year, and I look forward to it.
So, now tell me, what do you got special for the dogs this year at the Westminster Kennel Club show?
Well, at the Hotel Pennsylvania, no one does it like the Hotel Penn. Let's put it that way. We cater to the four-legged guests like we do the two-legged guests. We have this year, aside from last year's lower-level dog spa, with jog-a-dog treadmills, his and her bathrooms, bathing tubs, grooming tables. We have the upstairs ballrooms now. We have a big vendor expo in the big ballrooms on the top penthouse floor, and we're doing a bark bar, which is basically
bark bar.
a bark bar. I call it Yappy Hour.
Oh, okay, Yappy Hour.
it.
Wow.
Yappy Hour, and we invite Ladybug to come because it happens over Valentine's Day weekend this year.
Oh, very cool.
Ah.
And over the course of the weekend, it's basically owners and their dogs can go up to relax and have a drink. and share with friends stories, just chat, get comfortable before the show.
What kind of things do the dogs, they're under a lot of stress, and sometimes the owners like to really pamper them before the show. What kind of things do you find? Room service, perhaps?
Yeah.
Strange orders from room service?
I do little things because some people come without a handler, without an assistant, they're alone. They can't leave the dog in the room alone. So they'll ask me for a favor, and I'll go get them key things to make their dog feel comfortable before the show.
Oh.
Believe it or not, things like chicken sandwiches, meatballs with cheese and extra sauce.
Wow.
Oh, that sounds
pizza.
good now.
Yeah, that does sound good.
But this is for the dogs, right?
That's right. This is for the dogs.
Oh, okay. Well,
and sometimes I share it with the dogs.
well, thank you very much. Send us some pictures from the crazy animals that are going to be there this year, okay?
Will do. Have a great weekend.
You too. There you go.
Thanks, Jerry.
Jerry Grymek. Really not adding a lot to the show, but he made me very hungry. He made me hungry for meatballs.
No kidding.
Right now, Judy is screening calls. Dr. Debbie is taking your calls, your medical and vet questions, as well as your behavior questions. Vinnie Penn is with us, animal communicator Joy Turner, Susan Sims.
You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more about today's guest at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more. You're listening to Animal Radio.
Welcome, my friend. It's Animal Radio. One 866-405-8405 to talk to any one of the Dream Team. Bobby working on news, closed in her little blue-colored booth as she twitters to you. She's our little social networking butterfly. Dr. Debbie, she walks in every weekend, and she puts on rubber gloves for this show. I don't understand why. I guess it's sort of a...
Yeah, I think it just...
It snaps you to attention
Yeah.
now.
It really
When I
does.
do it, I can just see your back go, whoa!
Oh,
Wait a
yes.
minute.
She can answer your vet medical questions. Animal communicator Joy Turner, she can bridge that gap between you and your animal, perhaps a childhood animal. Susan Sims with Fido Friendly Travel Talk, and Bobby, and now we have Kim. Hey, Kim, how are you doing?
Hi, great.
Where are you today?
Actually, I'm in my vehicle traveling back from Texas, and I was listening to the show, and on my way back to Indiana, and I had a question for Dr. Debbie.
She's right here for you.
Here I am. Hey, what can we do for you?
Well, my problem is I have 3 rescued dogs. 2 of them are Weimaraners. I've had them for 3 years. Sergeant, the oldest male, they told me when I got him from the rescue side that he had an allergic reaction to rabies vaccine. So my vet has him on a different type of a rabies vaccine, but what they didn't tell us at the time was he has all kinds of allergies. And so we've tried different things. My vet and I, we've done, he's had his thyroid checked. He's had literally had to have surgery on one of his ears. He developed a hematoma from all the shaking, and it's really, it affects his ears the worst. And I'm just wondering if there's anything else that we can do or try, to see if we can get him some relief. What the regime we have him on now that seems to, keep it moderated the best is he takes Benadryl, and he takes about 6 a day, and they're 50 milligram each. So he's getting about 300 milligrams of Benadryl a day.
I'm assuming he's a big-sized boy then.
Yes, he's about 106 pounds.
Oh, yeah. That sounds about right, as far as for a good-sized fella. It would knock us on our toes into the floor, but dogs are different. And so what else besides the Benadryl then?
Then I changed food. We tried the prescription diet, which, didn't get any relief from that. But what I did do was change them to Nutro dog food, which is supposed to be good for, skin allergies and so forth. Their coats are beautiful, but he's still, without the Benadryl, he just will drive himself crazy. Mm-hmm. And it almost, on the inside of his ears, it almost looks like he has eczema. But we biopsied him 3 months ago when they did the surgery on the hematoma. We went ahead and biopsied and sent it in, and they couldn't find, it was no type of a mite or anything like that. And like I said, they checked, did blood work and so forth. And I'm just wondering if we do that, and then there's also a special shampoo that I bathe him in that kind of, helps relieve it somewhat. But didn't know if you knew of any other avenue that we might approach, or maybe I need to do an elimination diet with him. Maybe there, I'm just kind of at a loss.
Yeah, definitely. And with, the elimination diets, there's, a lot of different ones to try. So if you try one or two, sometimes, there's other ones out to try. And every dog is different on what they respond to, whether they do well with a special modified limited antigen diet, such as like a lamb and rice diet or a venison potato diet. And other dogs do better with the other style, what we call the hydrolyzed protein diet. So, you can kind of mix it up. And if you haven't switched between the two methods, then talk to your vet about that, because that might be a relatively simple thing we can try before we start getting into some of the heavy duty stuff. Because I'd have to say, that Kim, it sounds like your veterinarian has done a tremendous job in trying to manage this condition. And that is the frustrating part, is that allergies are such a huge chronic problem that sometimes we do our best to battle it and to control it, but we don't always win. But we just try to keep the pet comfortable and to prevent some of the side effects, like the hematoma, which is basically a big blood blister on the ear that develops from a lot of scratching and infections.
Oh, yeah. It was like the size of a hot dog.
Oh, golly, yeah. Now, the next steps that I would go, and, if you were here in my office and we've tried all those avenues and I'm comfortable that, we had all of the different medicines that we've tried have not brought on a good response, what I would look at is the possibility of doing some allergy testing. And in your area, that if you have a specialist around, that can be done through a veterinary dermatologist. If you don't have a specialist around, then a lot of general practitioners can do a different style of allergy testing. And my preferred way that I like to do allergy testing is with the dermatologist, where we do a skin patch testing, where basically they test the pet against all the common antigens or the allergens in your area, household things, trees, shrubs, human dander, believe it or not, pets can be allergic to. They can test for those things, and that is done through a specialist. And now, if you're not inclined to do that, or that's not readily available, then a lot of practices, at mine, we will send out a blood allergy test. So we basically draw blood and send it out to a lab where they test in vitro, basically in a test, what potential allergens we might be sensitive to. And that can help in developing a set of antigens or shots that you can give to help desensitize Sargent to some of those common things, because you may not be able to eliminate things in his environment, such as trees, grass, and neighbors would have a problem with that. So, an allergen therapy. I'm sorry. They actually
have. We did the blood test and sent it off, and then the biopsy. One of the specialists that she sent it to was a dermatologist affiliated with Purdue University out of Indiana.
Super.
So it's like, and we're able to keep him, comfortable that way. But I just feel like, okay, am I going to shut his liver down eventually with all the Benadryl?
Yeah, and Benadryl won't typically, create a lot of concerns in that way. As far as if we were using heavy doses of steroids, which is kind of the next therapy that you can get into if antihistamines don't work. But steroids are kind of a slippery slope, because they can help allergies, but then you get the whole gamut of side effects with that. Now, besides prednisone or steroids, then we can actually look at cyclosporine. And if you haven't looked at that with your veterinarian, that might be another option. For a large dog, it can be very costly in the initial phases of starting the medicine. But if we can wean our pets down to maybe just a few times a week dosing, it can become more financially reasonable. But that's basically an immune modulating drug. And one of the brand names of that out now is called Atopica. And I have a lot of success with that for allergy patients, especially if, they've been on prednisone and other therapies and just aren't getting, everything we want. So you might add that into the regimen as well. So.
And it was called Atopica?
Atopica. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Atopica. Okay, yeah, because we've had him on the prednisone and don't get me wrong, he's 100% better than what he was when I rescued him. But just at this point I thought, well, there's got to be something that we could do. So I will broach that with her when I get back to Indiana, and because he really is a great dog,
Go give him a big old hug from all of us, and let us know how it turns out.
I will do that. Thank you so much for your time.
We appreciate you listening to Animal Radio. 1-866-405-8405 to talk to any one of the Dream Team.
You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more.
Hey, this is Cesar Milan. When I'm not doing the dog whisper, I'm listening to Animal Radio. Stay balanced.
This portion of Animal Radio is brought to you by Safeguard Canine Dewormer. Did you know that your dog could have intestinal worms even if he's on a heartworm prevention program? For more complete protection, deworm your dog twice a year with broad-spectrum Safeguard Canine Dewormer. To find out more, visit www.safeguardfordogs.com.
As you all know, many emails. I would like to address two most common for the last few weeks, which I received. People asking me, Vladdy, what the heck dog training color you are always recommending? And my answer would be Herm Springer, it's a German, Herm Springer dog training colors. Very humane, very gentle, create a gentle grip through the neck, imitate the doggy mama bite, will not hurt, will not harm your pets. And this is would be starting point of dealing with unruly pets. I highly suggest you get for your little terrorist
He does have a very bad attitude.
We can keep complaining or we can take the actions. This is the only color I solely approve. They are very humane.
What is the name of it?
Prong collar with quick release by company Herm Springer.
And that's spelled HERMSPRENGER. And of course, we have links at the Animal Radio website.
Got it.
Sometimes people are crazy. Dogs are okay. That's for sure.
It's another new year, and your debt is higher than ever. Credit card balances that keep growing. Rising medical bills. Maybe you lost your job, or you're afraid of losing your home. That's the bad news. But you can work through your debt problems with help from Credit Card Relief. No, we're not a consolidation loan, not another one of those credit counseling deals, and not bankruptcy. We're Credit Card Relief. We've been helping people just like you for nearly a decade. If you're struggling with too much credit card debt, call us for a free consultation. Call Credit Card Relief right now. The consultation is free and the relief is real.
Call 866-800-5252. That's Credit Card Relief. 866-800-5252. 866-800-5252. Welcome to Animal Radio, where dogs rule, cats are king, and the status symbol of choice, probably the perfume you're putting on that Chihuahua over there. I'm thinking,
what?
Your Chihuahua missed you while you were in New York, and I had to dress him up per your request. Dress her up.
And you did.
I did. I felt like a complete goofball.
Oh, she loved it, though.
She likes that kind of stuff.
Yes, she does.
Listen, she's kind of a small dog.
She's very small. She's about, she might be 7 pounds by now.
Which is not the smallest dog ever. There's a Chihuahua that, let me see if I can find this. I'm looking right now at this great new book we got in the studios, Guinness World Records 2010, the book of the decade. You know, kicking off a new decade. And they're looking back at the last decade to see what animal, what everything made world records. And they have a whole animal section, as you see there. Will we hold that up to the microphone there? Yeah. You hold that up so the listeners can see the picture. You're actually looking.
I can't put it down.
I know.
It's one of those books.
At the Chihuahua that's, I believe his name is Brandy. And he's just 6 inches from the tip to the tail.
Wow.
So nowhere near the size of your dog there.
Makes her look huge.
It really, really does. But there's a lot of dogs that and animals that make this book. And we have from Guinness on the phone, Stuart Clayton. Hi, Stuart. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Delightful, delightful. Okay, so let's go over some of the animals that made the list for Guinness's 2010 Book of the Decade.
Indeed. There's a little bit of everything in the Guinness World Records book this year. And indeed, just as you were just mentioning, not only do we have the world's shortest dog, which is Boo Boo, which indeed is just nose end-to-end is perhaps 4 inches long. But,
imagine that.
I know. When you actually start thinking seriously, about 4 inches, it becomes astonishing that there's such a little tiny dog that exists. But it pales in comparison to what in fact is the current tallest dog, which is Titan.
Oh, yeah.
And he in fact is 42 1/4 inches tall.
Wow.
I know, unbelievable. And this is literally measured from the ground, shall we say, from the bottom of his front paws, if you will, to the top of his shoulder. So
and he's a Great Dane, right?
Exactly. I haven't had the pleasure to meet Titan in person yet, but I did meet his predecessor, which was Gibson.
Yes.
And watching him stand kind of on his hind legs with his front paws on somebody's shoulders was really a sight to behold, I can tell you that much.
You saw the 4-inch dog and the 42-inch dog back to back, right?
Exactly. They were both together, and it really is, nature is a wonderful thing, guys. It's it really covers all extremes, whether we choose to try it ourselves or not. Nature takes care of it, that's for sure.
Some of the other records that you accounted for, the Jump for Joy, the Australian Shepherd who completed a jump roping slalom of sorts?
Yes, exactly. Well, Sweet Pea is like an Australian Shepherd or Border Collie, and he, in fact, holds the Guinness World Record for the most rope jumps by a dog. This is actually 75 jumps over a jump rope in 1 minute. He's a dog of all trades, because he also remarkably, and you may think to yourself, well, this is a strange Guinness World Record, but this is just something that Sweet Pea can do. He can carry a glass of water on his snout or his nose and walk up and down steps. And the most he's ever climbed is 17 steps. So Sweet Pea is not only a Guinness World Record holder, but a multifaceted Guinness World Record holder. And we salute him and Alex, of course, for being such good sport.
The jump roping competition, do you have to open a new category, or are there a lot of dogs competing for this record?
Well, we receive about 50,000 inquiries every year from all over the world for different types of Guinness World Records. But the jump rope is fairly popular. I don't know exactly how many we would get in a year, but Sweet Pea has certainly won out, and no one since 2007 has been able to take his record of 75 jumps in 1 minute away from him.
Wow, he's holding that one.
I couldn't think of a better way to spend a weekend. I'll probably spend my next weekend putting rattlesnakes in my mouth. It's fun to do,
yes, Sure.
But I certainly don't hold the record of putting live rattlesnakes in my mouth. Who does?
Well, why would you even not consider this? I don't really understand it. There is such a man, and there is such a record. The most rattlesnakes held in someone's mouth, and this is live rattlesnakes, are 10. Wow! And this is in fact held by a gentleman who lives in Texas called Jackie Beebe. And please do not try this at home.
No.
Jackie Beebe is an experienced and very professional snake handler, but he has been able to put 10 live rattlesnakes, the tails of which are inserted into his mouth, and he holds them there for about 10 seconds, which is what we stipulate in our guidelines, just to make it even more difficult than it really sounds like. And without assistance, he held them there, and consequently is the Guinness World Record holder for the most live rattlesnakes held in the mouth. I mean,
please don't tell me that you have a lot of people in that competing for that category.
No, trust me. In fact, I would say that Jackie's probably the only gentleman at the moment who holds such a record. But there are other snake handlers out there, and I had the pleasure of meeting Jackie a few years ago when we had the 50th anniversary of Guinness World Records. And these personalities, these characters are unique because he's obviously been bitten quite a number of times as well, and he's very, very proud of all his scars. So, but let's move on.
I want to talk a little bit about Guinness, because when I was a kid, that was the favorite book of mine, was to get the Guinness. But let me tell you, when I was a kid, it was just a little paperback printed on like newsprint, and it had no pictures in it. Guinness has come a long way. The books now for the last, I don't know how many, couple of decades maybe, I don't know, have been beautiful, big coffee table picture books with all, lots changed since I've been a kid, I'll tell you that right now. What?
Indeed. No. You're absolutely right. Well, it's interesting for us because we've been around for a while, and a lot of people here in the United States do remember the kind of pocketbook or paperback, if you will, edition that you could stick in your backpack and just pull out any time. But we've kind of fast forwarded quite dramatically in the last few years, just because the demand is such that people not only want to read about the records,
want to see it.
Exactly.
And that's what's so beautiful about it.
Yeah. It's a real strength, and we thank all our record breakers for actually submitting all their photos and whatnot. But it's such a wonderful world. There's this superlative world, if you will, of record-breaking achievements and facts that, the fact that we can chronicle it not only textually but visually in this, as you say, a coffee table type book with a lot more of an enjoyable experience.
I want to know how we can get into the book. I have listeners calling all week, and they say they have some strange animal that does some strange thing. And you actually have to come out there and verify these things. How does that whole thing work?
It's pretty straightforward, thankfully. Just based on the number of submissions, we like to keep things pretty simple. But your first port of call, and we say this to every record breaker, large or small, is the GuinnessWorldRecords.com website. Okay. That is literally where we capture all of our proposals and submissions. Basically, as soon as you log on there's a very easy link where you just say apply now for a record. You click on that. It's a bunch of forms, who, what, where, and when. Very easy stuff. And that actually immediately puts you in conversation with one of our record managers based in our London headquarters.
They don't take it on word, though. They have to verify it, don't they?
Exactly, yes. I mean, if we can't go personally to a record adjudication, we'll just ask you to submit, some evidence basically verifying what you have basically attempted to do. And this is the usual lines: photographs, witness statements, press coverage, etc. But hopefully, if it's possible, and we are able to come out and judge your record, then, you can be adjudicated there and then as a new Guinness World Record holder should your attempt be successful. So we hopefully try and please everybody.
Okay, we'll put all the links to that at animalradio.com, everything you've heard on today's show. Have you ever gone out, Stuart, to verify any of these records?
Certainly. I mean, I judged Alex, actually, and Sweet Pea in 2007, and I measured Gibson, actually, the previous tallest dog ever, a few years ago as well. It's actually quite something because, whether there are... as we all try and push the envelope and try and break records, but when you get, an animal or a tree, if you will, something that's actually just breaking records without really realizing it, you have to kind of stand back in awe, really, because the little fellas don't really know what's going on, and yet there they are, making their mark on record-breaking history, if you will.
Animal or not, what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen?
Yikes. Let me think. I tell you what, the snakes was quite bizarre, but I don't know. I suppose I've measured the world's longest fingernails. They weren't the weirdest. I suppose I have to say they were the most unique. A lady in Utah, Salt Lake, just outside Salt Lake City, her nails hadn't been cut since 1979, and they all, when you added them all together, they measured 28 feet long. Wow. The longest being her left index finger, which was 3 foot long. And I remember being in her kitchen because we went to her house to photograph her, and measuring her fingernails, sitting at a kitchen table with a cup of tea was probably one of the best experiences I ever had.
We're just thinking here in the studio, like, how does she dial the phone? Or Judy was like, how does she go to the bathroom?
Yeah. Yes. Well, there are some things you don't really want to ask. I tell you.
We don't really want to know that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to give out 10 of these copies of these books right here, the Guinness World Records 2010, the book of the decade, and in my opinion, the best one yet. Let's go ahead and give it out. And then if you can't get through on the lines today, you're not lucky enough to win one of these copies, head on over to your bookstore or Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble's or Borders and ask for the Guinness World Records latest book, 2010. 2010, the book of the decade. Stuart, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention and joining us today.
Not at all. Many thanks for having us.
Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to find out what's happening with the animals, what's happened with the animals in Haiti. Then back to the phones for your questions with Dr. Debbie, answering your vet medical and behavior questions. Animal communicator Joy Turner, Vinnie Penn, Susan Sims, Bobby. We're all here. 1-866-405-8405. And, of course, this Healthy Helping of Animal Radio brought to you by Blue Buffalo, makers of healthy, holistic, natural food for dogs and cats. You love them like family, so feed them like family with Blue.
Hi, this is Judge Joey Villani from Groomer Has It. And when I'm not making people sweat judging their grooming competition, I'm listening to Animal Radio.
This is an Animal Radio news update brought to you by World's Best Cat Litter, the only litter made from whole kernel corn.
I'm Bobby Hill for Animal Radio. Dogs are more likely to contract canine influenza if they spend time mingling with other dogs, like at kennels, groomers, even dog shows, and doggy daycare. Last year, 8 states saw canine influenza outbreaks in Colorado, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, and New York. There is a vaccine available that reduces the severity of symptoms in clinical trials. Dr. Cinda Crawford of the University of Florida College of Veterinary Medicine said, quote, so far it performs about as well as the vaccines that we give to people and horses and pigs. Crawford added that with proper medical care, sick dogs will recover in about 2 weeks. And Indiana is one step closer to requiring retail pet shops to disclose a pet's background information to buyers. The House committee unanimously passed the bill last month and would allow customers to get the address and size of breeding operations upon request. Sarah Hayes, president of the Indiana Alliance of Animal Control and Welfare Organizations, says in the past, pet stores have been skirting the facts about their dogs and cats by claiming that they came from a, quote, local breeder. Hayes says, quote, local can be a puppy mill also, and added, if pet stores are telling the truth, they shouldn't have a problem with simply posting this information, end quote. And it could be a bet payoff or just one of those New York moments, but a video of a man cuddling a live chicken on the subway is being investigated by New York City's transit agency. The incident last month was captured on video by 27-year-old Brooklyn architect Kylie Kaiser and posted online. The video shows a man oblivious to everything around him, on his back in the subway car aisle, kissing, hugging, and lifting the chicken up in the air. Kaiser described the man as possibly homeless and chalked it up to, quote, an only in New York situation, end quote. I'm Bobby Hill for Animal Radio. Get more breaking animal news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update brought to you by World's Best Cat Litter. Here's a tip for changing litter brands. Remember to transition gradually. Cats are creatures of habit, and switching abruptly to a new type of litter may result in litter box problems, like not using the new litter at all. Get more tips from Dr. McPeat at www.worldsbestcatlitter.com/radio.
Animal Radio is brought to you by
One Shot Plus Multi-Purpose Cleaner attacks everyday stains, pet stains, crayon marks, mildew. One shot and it's gone. Call 1-800-874-7070 or go to oneshotplus.com to get yours now.
Celebrating our connection with our pets. From all across the globe, this is Animal Radio.
The whole gang is here. Dr. Debbie answering your medical and behavior questions. Animal communicator Joy Turner, Susan Sims, Bobby working on news. Actually, I think she's Twittering right now.
Oh, on our Twitter, we twittered that in honor of Spikey, the rescued German Shepherd, please go visit a shelter near you and adopt a pet.
And you're going to be talking about the number one dog in the U.S. Did you know that
number one breed, not
the number one breed
dog?
Yes.
Which also happens to be the number one breed available in shelters.
Why do you think that is, Hal?
Yeah. Was Spikey neutered?
I did not ask. I thought that was a very personal question, so I didn't ask.
Not when you're a public figure. You can ask them anything now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Spikey, the rescued dog from the L.A. River, found... what do you want me to do?
No, I was going to go on to the next one.
Judy's jumping up and down, making signals over there. She doesn't want me talking about Spikey anymore.
That means that we have Dr. Anand Ramanathan on.
Anand Ramanathan.
Speaking of dog rescue and animal rescue down there in Haiti.
Yes.
That wasn't a really good situation to begin with for the animals, and of course the
let's be
earthquake.
honest.
So there's a bunch of organizations down there, I understand. In Defense of Animals is one of them, and Dr.
A veritable coalition.
Ramanathan? Judy's actually getting her on the phone right now. It is a her, right?
Really
is it a her?
No, it's a him.
It's a him. Is he with IDA?
He's with IDA.
Executive Director?
Right.
He's the Executive Director of IDA going to be joining us here.
Yes.
And I mean, the list of organizations that have become part of ARCH, the Animal Relief Coalition for Haiti, is just the who's who of the animal protection leagues. We've got the American Humane Society is in there, Best Friends Animal Society, Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals in the UK, American Veterinary Medical Association, and the list goes on and on.
And a lot of these organizations helped out in Katrina, so it's good to see that they're also doing the same thing there in Haiti. I believe from IDA, in Defense of Animals, we have the Executive Director, Dr. Anand Ramanathan.
You can just call me Dr. Anand, that's fine.
Anand.
Well,
Dr. Anand.
Welcome to the show today. Now, a lot of the animals down there were in trouble even before the earthquake.
Yes, it's very true. It is a developing country, and the scenario is, in terms of animal welfare, needs definitely a lot of improvement. But in an earthquake like this, it's such an irreparable damage and devastation that's been caused. And not only, a certain number of animals do get injured, but much more than that, when people who care for these animals are no longer there, many animals get abandoned, they don't get fed on time, and it really complicates the situation much more and makes the welfare of the animals even more under constraint.
With Katrina, the goal was to get the animals out of the area and then rehouse them. Is that what's happening there, or is it primarily aiding the animals that are sick? What exactly is going on? Are there animals being taken out of Haiti into the U.S.?
There have been small occasions of some of the expatriates who've been living in the country and have had to leave the country at short notice and have left their animals. And some animal protection groups have been involved in bringing them back to the United States to reunite them with their families. But our efforts have largely been involved in having a mobile unit which travels across communities there and reaching out to animals which need help in the community. So working with the people there and trying to identify what are the problems the animals face. It's a time of winter now. Lots of pups are there. So there's a lot of breeding and a lot of animals have been born. And those animals need immediate care. When people are really worried about trying to get resources for themselves, the need for us to be there to help animals becomes equally important.
What type of animals are in danger? Is it pets, or are there farm animals involved as well?
Haiti is a very agricultural country, so there is a lot of livestock in the country. They have over 2 to 3 million livestock animals, from cattle, goats, pigs, chicken, and Port-au-Prince alone. There has been an estimate of over 500,000 dogs in and around in the island in Haiti. There is a group called the Christian Veterinary Mission which has been working for quite some time, and they have done a lot of vaccinations of dogs. Over 100,000 dogs were vaccinated in Port-au-Prince alone a few months back. So dogs definitely need a lot of attention as much as livestock.
The coalition was formed really fast. Who did that? Who formed it? How did it come together?
The coalition was quickly formed, primarily led by IFAW, International Fund for Animal Welfare, and WSPA, World Society for Protection of Animals. And many of us have already been working closely with all of these groups, so we all quickly joined in the first few days of forming the coalition.
Did you guys learn anything from Katrina that you're using in this particular event?
Cooperation and coalition building is is the key to a solution, to lasting solution like this. And that way we have been able to pool our resources together and be a stronger unit. Primarily, in terms of humanitarian relief groups, they all come together under the banner promoted by the UN. And for animal groups, that's been something that's not been in the works for a long time. So post-Katrina, already many of these organizations had formed a coalition within the U.S., as well as involving groups across the pond, so to say. And so that was a key lesson for us, that we need to come together and forge relationships.
If we wanted to make donations, is ARCH collectively accepting donations?
As of now, each of the individual organizations accept donations, and we pool it into the ARCH pot that we have created. So each member entity like in defense of animals. So you can go to idausa.org, and your contributions would really help us in providing lasting relief to animals in Haiti.
You guys are doing good work. We appreciate it. Dr. Anand Ramanathan, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your efforts in getting the message out to help animals at this grave disaster.
Of course. We have more information at the website at animalradio.com. If you want to learn more, we'll put all the organizations involved with ARCH and how you could donate directly through their website.
You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more about today's guest at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more.
Another party animal on Animal Radio. I'm your party animal, Vinnie Penn. A friend of mine calls me up over the weekend and said he's been seeing a new girl. And he says, we were having a great time. I was actually over her house. She's a mom, and he was playing Yankees Monopoly. And I said, you're getting pretty deep in, my man. You're hanging out. It's the mother. It's the daughter. You're playing board games. You're getting knee deep in there. And he goes, well, I don't know how much more. And I said, well, why? He said, well, she put her daughter to bed. And we were sitting there talking, nice New England fire roaring, a very Norman Rockwell scenario, I would imagine, the 2010 version. And he said, and I had to find a genteel way to just say to her, hey, FYI, there's half a mouse and some vomit on your floor. And she said, excuse me? This is him telling me. She said, excuse me? And he goes, yeah, just, if you were going to go in the kitchen and get a refresher glass of wine or anything, there's half a mouse and some vomit on your floor. He proceeds to tell me, and she gets up, she goes, she has 3 cats who are just always running into the house with either a bird, wings still flapping in its mouth, or what's left of a mouse, and they typically then proceed to vomit. And he's like, well, bye-bye. Yet another case of multiple cats equals single forever. It could even explain the divorce and her being a single mom. I remember there was a girl that I dated many, many years ago. One time, same thing happened. Just sitting around the house. This is when we were kids. That's why I say many, many, many years ago. And her cat just came walking in, with a bird. It looked like it was fresh from the cat Burger King. It had ketchup all over its face. And yet it wasn't ketchup. It was bird blood. 3 savage cats leaving the remains of a mouse around the house may equal Eleanor Rigby. Vinnie Penn, party animal, Animal Radio.
This is
Animal Radio.
Let's face it, life happens. From spills to pet stains, One Shot Plus multi-purpose cleaner attacks everyday stains, eliminating the need for other cleaning products. Pet stains, crayon marks, mildew, One Shot, and it's gone. Safe for the environment, your pets, and your family. Call 1-800-874-7070 and mention Animal Radio. That's 1-800-874-7070. Or go to oneshotplus.com to get yours now.
We get lots of food samples here at Animal Radio, so we can be picky about selecting a healthy food. If you're a regular listener, you know Ladybug is one finicky diva. When we got a sample of Stella and Chewy's, the healthy ingredients were there, but would she eat it? I'm here to tell you she ate it as fast as we put it down and begged for more. We feel good about feeding our dog Stella and Chewy's, and we want you to try Stella and Chewy's too. Visit StellaandChewy's.com or call 888-477-8977. That's 888-477-8977.
Listen closely. Did you hear that? That's the sound of peace of mind. Peace of mind that comes in convenient, pre-measured packets of Safeguard Canine Dewormer. Just sprinkle the granules on your dog's food twice a year to protect him against the major types of canine intestinal worms. Monthly heartworm prevention programs alone are not enough. Find out how to get the upper hand on intestinal worm infections by visiting www.safeguardfordogs.com.
Does your pet become anxious when you leave the house? Do certain sounds like thunder or sirens cause your pet to feel uneasy? If your pet barks excessively or is an out-of-control chewer, you'll find the solution in Classic Cuts by Music My Pet. The principal performer for Disney's Baby Einstein has created Classic Cuts with special sounds to help calm, soothe, and relax your pet. A calm pet is a happy pet. To order your Classic Cuts, visit www.musicmypet.com or call 1-877-PET-CALM.
This is
Animal Radio.
just love this chicken a lot. That's all I'm saying, Bobby. 1-866-405-8405. We all have animals that we love. Dr. Debbie is here answering your vet medical questions and your behavior questions. Animal communicator Joy Turner, Susan Sims, and Bobby just reporting on a back of the subway chicken cuddling story, which is, I don't think you'll find that anywhere else. You can try. You can switch the dial right now. We'll wait. And
we like to highlight the unique and unusual in our pets.
And we think that we have that right here. We get a ton of food samples here at Animal Radio.
A ton.
We really do, literally a ton, like big old pallets.
That's a lot of food.
It is a lot of food. They want us, all the companies want us to try their food, so we can be really picky about selecting a healthy food.
And believe us, if we don't like it, we'll tell you.
We're pretty transparent that way. We even try some of the food ourselves. We'll eat it because if our dogs are eating it, our cats are eating it, we want to know that it's good enough for us.
That's right.
But I think probably the most finicky here next to me is Ladybug, the studio stunt dog. She's pretty
no doubt about it.
She's tried foods before, and she'll eat it down for the first couple of days, and then she's bored. She wants something new.
Yeah, we think we have a winner when she just goes for it, but after a couple of days, then she just fizzles out.
Until we got Stella and Chewy's. Stella and Chewy's sent us a sample. Mm-hmm. We tried it. We figured she'd go through her little phase a couple of days. But unfortunately, the sample ran out, and then we had to head down to the store and buy some.
Mm-hmm. You can actually see bits of cranberries and other things in it. It's real healthy.
Hal, have you eaten this? Because I know that you try all the food.
I do
try all the food.
I'm
just going to ask
you. It smells good. It smells really good, and I'm considering it.
Because it kind of looks trail mixy to me.
Yeah, well, when you break it up, it can be like trail mix, yeah.
But when you hydrate it, it really looks like textured meat.
And it's that raw diet that everyone's talking about. You see, usually raw diets have to be kept refrigerated, or you put preservatives in, they're no longer raw diets. This has been freeze-dried raw with USDA-inspected meat. No added hormones.
They're kind of like MREs, but better.
I'm sure they taste a lot better.
According to Ladybug, they're a lot better than those. Stella and Chewy's Natural Goodness for Dogs. Check it out at stellaandchewy's.com or call 888-477-8977. That's 888-477-8977. Or purchase it from the front of animalradio.com.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too.
You've heard of Superman and Spider-Man. Well, now there's Salamander Man. Police have arrested a thief some are calling the Salamander Man because this creepy criminal was talking himself into unsuspecting homes, saying he was looking for his lost salamander. He had also used a hamster excuse, but the salamander one was much more successful. Police had been hunting the burglar for months, and once caught, the Salamander Man admitted to about 60 thefts. He mostly took wallets and loose cash. They found him with 9 empty wallets in his car, which had been stolen the day before. This concludes this episode of Salamander Man. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio.
Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
Hi, this is Sheena Easton on Animal Radio. Please spay and neuter your pets. It's so important.
This is Ben Vereen on Animal Radio. Remember to spay and neuter your animal for a healthier and longer life.
You're listening to Animal Radio.
1-866-405-8405. That's toll free to Animal Radio. What? Animal Radio? What's that? Brand new? You're a new lit. Where have you been? Welcome. We celebrate our connection with our pets every weekend right here. And we ask you to call if you have a problem. We have Dr. Debbie. She's answering your medical questions. We've even got one of those wacky animal communicators.
She's not wacky.
Yeah, she would kill me for saying that. I'm sorry about that. I just threw that in. That was ad lib. I'm sorry, Joy.
We'll
Joy
slap
Turner.
him for you.
Yeah, Joy Turner. Whether you're a skeptic or not, I'll tell you, it makes the phones ring. At 1-866-405-8405. But let's hit the phones. We have... Is it Austin? Hey, Austin.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just enjoying the nice sun. I'm down here in South Carolina, so...
What's going on? What's going on with your pets?
I got a Chihuahua, and we got him from the ASPC, and we're just wondering, he's got 2 canine teeth on both sides of his mouth. We thought they would fall out when he got older, but now they're still there, and was wondering if that would be something, we're going to have to get taken out, or just go ahead and leave it.
Okay. And how long have you had your little friend?
He's about a year now. We've had him for about 4 months.
Okay, very good. And does he have any difficulties eating, any sensitivity with his mouth?
No, not that I noticed.
Good. And I didn't think you were going to say that, because what you're describing is a very common problem that we see in small breeds of dogs, especially the toy breeds. And it is retained deciduous teeth. So basically, all dogs have a set of puppy teeth, and those should fall out and be replaced by adult teeth. But very commonly, these little baby teeth don't fall out. And if you're seeing the little hook teeth behind the adult canine teeth, and if your doggy is that old already, they probably will need to be surgically removed. Because in most cases, we give them until maybe 8 months, 10 months. If they don't fall out and they're in there nice and solid, then we need to go in and remove them, because there will definitely be the potential for problems with crowding, abscesses on the baby teeth, but especially because those teeth are so close, they get a higher rate of dental problems. So yeah, I will definitely give you the prescription to get those teeth yanked out of there.
Okay. And I have one more question. About 3 days ago, first time it's happened, he acted like he had a seizure.
Ooh.
And was wondering if, just keep an eye on him, or maybe should we talk to him about... He just acted real wobbly. He'd stand there, his head would shake, and like his legs would wobble and stuff, and he just sat there and looked at us, and that was the only time it's happened, and he's been fine ever since.
Okay, and there was nothing that happened right prior to that had you concerned, no injury or jump or fall or anything like that?
No, not that I know of, because... we got him from the ASPC, and I mean, that's the first time anything's happened, so.
Yeah. Well, I would be suspicious what you've described could be some form of a seizure, and I'm always of the type, I don't like to let things go, so I would definitely bring that to your veterinarian's attention, and I would probably want to get a blood sample on your little baby to check for a couple things, because small dogs can have problems with low blood sugar issues, and then they can also have some liver problems that we might pick up on a blood panel. But if everything checks out good, then I'd probably just, make sure we track this, and from that point forward, make sure we keep track if he has more of them, and then we know what degree of concern we'll have to have from here forward. So, golly. Well, I'm glad you saved a life, Austin. That's awesome. Everyone should adopt. It is such a wonderful thing.
Do smaller dogs generally have more problems? It seems like you seem to mention that smaller dogs have more dental issues. Sometimes they have more digestive issues.
Yeah, I don't want to single them out, but there are some things that we see more typically in little dogs, and some of these congenital problems, the baby teeth, very common with the little breeds. But the big dogs, they have just the same share of things. They just kind of are a different spectrum, maybe hip problems or heart problems or other things. So no, I'm not going to single out the little guys.
1-866-405-8405 to talk to Animal Radio vet Dr. Debbie right now.
This is
Animal Radio.
Hey, it's your resident party animal, Vinny Penn, on Animal Radio. Welcome back. I don't know for any of you taking notes, paying attention as we've been doing as I've been doing the party animals here for the last, it's been a while now, over a year, maybe even 2 years. You may have caught that I live just outside New York in Connecticut. Now, Connecticut right now has been in the news due to the chimpanzee attack that happened. A woman who had a pet, I believe it was a chimpanzee, that she was trying to get to come back into the house one day, and it attacked her and ripped off one of her lips. And she's not eligible for the plastic surgery that she was hoping to get through her insurance for various reasons. Perhaps you're familiar with the story. And I certainly don't want to trounce on anyone's tragedy, but I've never quite understood the thought process behind the monkey as pet that permeated America right after, dare I say, Clint Eastwood filmed Every Which Way But Loose. Putting them in shorts or a diaper and having them sit at the kitchen table doesn't necessarily humanize the chimp or the ape or what have you. You're kind of asking for trouble. Even though Clint Eastwood, Philo Beto, went out to say, he's got 8 ribs, Ma, just like you and me. Vinny Penn, Party Animal, Animal Radio.
I guess that's all we have time for today. Remember, you can contact us all throughout the week at 1-866-405-8405. We actually got a machine hooked up to that. We actually screen our calls.
That's good,
listen
Hal.
to you. Yes. And you can also email us. All our email addresses at animalradio.com. You'll find a lot of great stuff over at that website, animalradio.com. Yes, you will, including a $3 off coupon of the World's Best Cat Litter. If you get World's Best Cat Litter, why not get that coupon? You can download it each and every time from animalradio.com. Also, check out new pet product reviews and order Stella and Chewy's directly from the website. Have yourself a great week.
Bye.
See ya!
Always adopt, don't declaw.
This is Animal Radio
Network.